failure is okay. I think that runs contrary to what a lot of organizations, the way they're structured, and it seems to me that creative organizations find ways to value all ideas, recognizing that, as you used your baseball metaphor before, you're not going to hit 100%, you're not even going to hit close to that, you're going to bat 10% or 20%, and that's okay. I've had several managers comment on that, and some of these were from some of the most creative companies with reputations, some of which you've mentioned. I also think that this notion of teamwork, which wasn't initially one of our focuses, and I'm not sure we'll make the cutting room floor for this project, but might make me think about another one. It seems to me that creativity is you may have one visionary person, the Steve Jobs, but at the end of the day, creativity has to be harnessed from everybody in the organization. It's a team process that's messy, it's sausage making, and it's difficult. And I think there's a tendency to see creativity as this one visionary guy sitting at the top of the tower coming up with these great ideas that he sends down the hall. And I'm not sure that's a very healthy visual of creativity. And you seem to really kind of affirm that it's a much more on the ground, understanding people's problems, grinding through them with them. It's a much more arduous process than that, and I think that's a very interesting idea. Would you consider those to be fair characterizations?
Very much so, and actually one of the slides which I borrowed from another visionary out in Europe is they talk about how the innovations or organizations are changing from top down to bottoms up, and I think if you look at kind of exactly what you said, where it used to be, where innovations used to be one or two guys starting at the top saying this is what we want to do, and how that has completely changed, or at least in this forward-thinking organization, about how it's really bottoms-up approach, about how you really, it's kind of the whole Web 2.0 effect as well, we can use the word like crowdsourcing and, collaborative sourcing and so on and so forth, as to how a lot of sharing of ideas and sharing of feedback and sharing of, thoughts and opinions is what can drive, the next, quote-unquote killer product for your company.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think we're starting with the working premise that creativity is something that everybody acknowledges is important, but there's a lot of variance and misunderstanding about what it is and how you go about leveraging it, and we're trying to get some better insights into how do you get a handle around this thing that we all know is important, but I don't think that we have a very good sense of what it really is. It's a very enigmatic idea. So
one thing I want to say is it does involve a little bit of adventurous thought in the sense of the risk-taking, and I think as organizations become larger, they do tend to become more risk-averse in terms of trying out new things, and I think the smaller they are, the more and I don't mean risk in a bad connotation. I mean risk as in taking the leap of faith and saying, "Oh, let's just go with this and see how far we go with it." Right. So that notion of risk taking, it tends to get less and less, as you have your CFO looking at everything you want to do in life. Right? So.
I think that's an interesting idea. Yeah, so not reckless risk, but risk that's willing to calculate the payoff of taking some bigger chances. I think all organizations tend to get that way because we have more to lose the bigger we become, right?
Exactly.
So there's more on the line.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I've taken too much of your time already, and I do appreciate how you've helped us with the research. I will get you this transcript, and I will also get you kind of the final summary. Be warned, it takes a while. It's an arduously slow process in academics, but as soon as we get this together, I would be more than happy to share it with you.
You're doing it. You're doing it, so I appreciate that, and I would love to review it, and hopefully, if you're okay with it, we can talk about it when you give me the go on that.
Absolutely, and I'd love for you, if you're willing to give us some feedback on the research and say, well, I think you should think about this, or I think you should go farther with that, or whatever, because it definitely is a creative process. So, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.